here we are. We're on the bus. We're in beautiful Huntington Beach. There's people walking by right now looking at us wondering what is going on. And I'm here with the wonderful Miss Jennifer. Say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Well, who do we have today? Who's the surprise person?
Clue number 1, he loves football. Clue number 2, he also loves magic.
Okay. Magic and football. Is it David Blaine?
No, wrong.
You promise?
Wrong.
I was super excited.
You want to guess again, or you want clue number 3?
I'm actually happy it's not David Blaine because he scares me. Okay, what's the third clue?
Okay. Third clue is he also hosts the Ellen Show.
It's about the tenacity to follow a dream. The 5'8" Jesse LeBeau, a skinny kid from the Alaskan fishing town, went on to star in national commercials and movies with some of the most recognizable celebrities and professional athletes in the world. Are you kidding me? Follow the remarkable journey, learn vital life lessons, and discover how hard work and vision can take your own life places you've never even dreamed of. Here we are, baby. Here we are.
Unbelievable. Have you done voiceover work?
No, but I
feel like we need to get you an agent now. Let's get you in the game.
I was actually really nervous. It's probably the best I've ever read out loud.
No, it was really good.
That was pretty solid.
Yeah.
6th grade, we used to have to go and rotate, and then you'd have to read out loud to the class, and I would always be so bad that after a paragraph, they'd be like, "Okay, John, thank you very much."
And
let's bring up Chris Bowers.
That was 30 minutes, and we needed to do other things today.
Chris Bowers always read the most. You know, I had to read like an hour.
Yeah.
Did you ever do the readathon?
Yes.
Chris Bowers killed it. It was like
he was
so
the kid
many
in
hours.
your school that was
There's no way the kid read 110 hours a week. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, and parents were signing off on it, so he just had the cool parents that were like, "Yeah, no, he read 40 hours."
But then he would get up and read in front of the class, and you're like, "Well, maybe he did read 110 hours."
He's so smart. He's so articulate.
He's killing it. I didn't even know what that word is. He pronounced it right.
I feel like you carry a little bit of a grudge still to this day.
You know what, Chris? If you're out there, man, you've haunted my dreams since I was 13.
You ruined a life. We're still trying to bounce back.
But he was always the guy too that when he'd cut, he'd stick his tongue out. You know what I mean? You ever have those? Like,
real serious? Yeah. He's not playing
like,
around.
In projects, he'd do that, and he's so focused. You know?
What grade was this?
5th, 6th grade.
I feel like this man haunted you.
Yeah, he was actually a cool dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's he doing now? Can we find him?
I have no idea. Let's get the viewers out there. If you know Chris Bowers from Cottage Lake Elementary in Woodville, Washington.
On you.
Haven't thought about you in a long time, but for some reason, I'm holding the book called Among the Giants, and you're the first one I thought of, man. So.
I love the way you work. Can you just follow me around and like read that as I'm going in and out of the community?
Ladies and gentlemen, Among the Giants.
Walking into the restaurant right now. Dude, so what's going on? Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's all good. So we're in the off season. Every July we're off, and my wife and I come back here in Huntington Beach and kind of train for the season, take a few weeks off, try and eat right, try and kind of get the head right, get the body right, and going off into training camp.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. I heard there's some big congrats in order.
Hey, drum roll, please.
Yeah, here we go.
Drum roll.
You're glowing.
Yeah.
You're literally.
The cameras are there.
That's huge. That's big time. You did it.
Yeah, so we got married, and then we got married in Mexico in Cabo. It was awesome.
Okay.
One of the, if not the greatest day of my life. I met the coolest chick ever. So, and I'm not just saying that because she's
literally
24 inches behind me.
She's literally right
peeking
there.
over my shoulder awkwardly.
But she is also glowing. It's going well. Just so you know, I got the visual. You're doing the right thing. It's going well.
You know, so we got I don't like wearing rings.
Okay, I was gonna. Yeah, that was my next question. Yeah, you're showing off the tat. That's forever. A ring could fall off.
Right, and this is my first tat. So now that I see people all tatted up, I feel like I have to go tell them I'm in the club. Like, dude, hey, just want to let you know I got my first one. You know what I mean? So it didn't really hurt that bad. I mean, down here it burned a little bit, and this guy's whole face is tatted up. But I feel like we're part of the family now.
You put your pinky out too when you show up?
Yeah, because you gotta.
You want them to see full range.
We got married in Mexico, and then we went to Bora Bora, and I just don't like wearing jewelry. I'm not a jewelry guy, and when I shuffle, that little gap that the ring, believe it or not, would put between the fingers affected when I would cut and shuffle and try and, like, if I need to shuffle to the 29th card, I can just cut to 29, but when I had that little minor gap in there, I was off by 1 or 2, and it made a difference. So I just hate wearing rings. So I was always wanting to get my ring tattooed, so we both got it done. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is this means love, and this is longevity and wisdom.
Okay.
And then the 4 corners of the middle tat is love, and then the middle is their sign for like marriage. So it's love, wisdom, marriage, and longevity.
Wow.
And we both got the same one.
Okay, matching.
So, yeah, matching.
Amazing.
Babe, why don't you come out here?
Yeah, come on, get her in, get her in.
Come here, babe.
Can we get a visual on her? Check it out.
Stand up, come on.
She's like, I just came from yoga.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's real love.
This is worth zooming in on that.
Yeah. Can we get,
let's see if we can get side by side there. Yeah, that's hardcore.
Unbelievable. Who did better getting the, do you have a tattoo before this?
No, we're both virgin tattooers. So
wow.
this was our first one together, and it really wasn't that bad.
Okay.
I was flinching up right at first.
Was it bad for him? I just wanted it to be like.
Go first.
Okay.
Well, no. Let me tell you how this thing played out. The whole time, John, I'm good. Like, if you don't want to do it, I just want you to know I'm good. But if you don't want to do it, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'll go first. So you can check it out.
Yeah.
And it's good. Like, I'll go first. I want to go first. Then all of a sudden, it's go time. And literally, we had a local. We had like a local French Polynesian dude come out, all tatted up, didn't speak English. No, we were in French.
Yeah, in Bora Bora. Okay.
Yeah, shark tooth, chip, boom, boom. No,
oh yeah.
Real old school. I wish.
Yeah.
So this guy literally came out and didn't speak English. Came to our villa.
Perfect.
And so then all of a sudden I look at her and I'm like, "Do you want me to go first?" She's like, "Yeah, you go first." You go first.
Okay.
But it wasn't bad. So now we're totally like when people ask us if we're tatted up,
we're in the tat game. Yeah,
we're pretty tatted.
Harleys, the whole thing. That's so funny. I mean, this is real love because you were wearing that ring at first, and it was affecting possibly career suicide. How I see it, like it's messing up your whole thing.
That's how I see it.
If you're willing to do that, like that is the step. Was that what sealed the deal?
It was
like,
sealed the deal.
And then it's like, okay, now it's a better option that's more unique. Yeah.
I said, look, babe, I'm all in. So
yeah.
I mean, if you want to be among the Giants,
you got it.
You gotta say, look, dude, I'm here to play.
Story of my life. I feel like if I was going to get one, that I could handle that. I don't have any.
But even the Polynesians don't go under here because it fades so fast. So once I saw that he didn't go, because that's what I was feared. Like everybody's like, dude, it hurts really bad under here. Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh gosh, I can't whip out. But then once he didn't have it, I was like, well, this is a no-brainer.
It's a sign.
Babe, it's not that I don't want it.
Yeah.
But even this, and here's
my
what's
man
really cool.
here.
The dude, right? He didn't really speak English, and his name was Vadidi. And his entire, like you could draw a line down his body, and his entire left side of his body was completely tatted up because he does all his own.
Oh, so he can't. He only does. Yeah.
He can't get over it.
Weird
so it's like his whole right side of his body. So it's kind of cool.
Unbelievable. That's a unique story. I feel like not a lot of people can say that.
Well, that's kind of why we did it.
Vadidi, the one side of his body came through.
Yeah, and it was cool, man. If you've never been to Bora Bora, it's the most beautiful place in the world. It's awesome. I would go back in a heartbeat, and we loved it. Yeah, there he is.
Do we stay in touch with him? I feel like he doesn't have an email address.
No,
like, how did we even find him in the first place?
He came out of the tree.
Oh, he's the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at you guys. Beard gang strong. She got the flower in the ear. Can we get this on there? Is that going to show? Can we show him? He's allowed to be seen?
Oh, yeah.
There's really no paperwork on this. Like, I don't really think that there's...
Take it back.
You know what I mean? Did you get that?
Yeah. Good.
Vadidi.
Vadidi. Shout out to Vadidi. Changing lives, bringing people together.
And Hede was cool, too.
So, tell me about Washington State.
Yeah, so I was born in Texas, in Humble, and then we moved to Northern California, and then when I was like 6, 7 years old, we moved up to Seattle. So I grew up in a place called Woodinville for like elementary school.
Okay.
And then when I was 12 years old, I went home and my dad had murdered my mom. And after that, my sister and I, my grandparents and my aunt moved up to Washington during the trial. My dad turned himself in the following day. He was sentenced to second-degree murder.
You walked in yourself?
Right after. Yeah, right after it happened. And, I learned in the trial, he kept me from it, but I learned in the trial he rolled her up and put him in the trunk of his car. And then the following morning, he turned himself in. So he was sentenced with second-degree murder, sentenced to 13 years because it wasn't premeditated, it wasn't first degree. And so my sister and I lived in temporary foster homes for a little while. We finished out the school year. And then my aunt, which is my mom's sister, she got custody of my sister and I. And then I was raised by my aunt. So when I was 13 years old, I moved down to Southern California. And I actually moved into Garden Grove, which is like 25 minutes straight inland from this road. And then when I was 13, everybody would say, hey, if you just go down that street like 20 minutes, you'll hit the beach. Well, I got on my bike one day and I just rode. And I thought I'd be there in like 20 minutes. 4 hours later, I'm still pedaling.
You're like, where am I?
Yeah, where am I?
I need some water.
And so eventually I rode in this complex right here.
Really?
And I rode in and out of these streets, and I told myself I'm going to live here one day.
No way.
And so in 2006, 2007, I was in my 6th, 7th year in the league, and the Eagles gave me a 4 or 5 year extension. And I was online, and back then the online game was still new.
Yeah.
It was homeseekers.com.
Okay.
So I go to homeseekers.com, and I'm looking at places to live, and one popped up, and when I hit map, it was on the street I rode my bike. That I said I was going to live one day. So I called the realtor and I said, look, I don't care.
This is a sign. I
don't care. I want it. And she's like, you haven't even seen it yet. I go, I really don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I told myself I was going to live in this community.
I'm doing
when I was 13 years old.
And here you are.
Here it is, and I got the money, and let's roll. So
that's crazy.
2 weeks.
Started from the bottom.
Yeah, man.
Now we're here.
2 weeks. I said, look, I'll be home in 2 weeks. Just tell them I want it.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I've been there ever since. And have no intentions of moving, and it's
I feel like, people have those vision boards where they're manifesting everything. I feel like you just had a vision life. Like you went and saw it, and you're like, yep, and then you had that mental picture in your life. Yeah.
Dude, life is that. And everything you want in life and everything you want to see, you have to watch it. We don't watch TV. Now, this is funny. We have TVs in every room in our house.
Yeah,
I don't think we ever turn them on.
Yeah.
You want to watch a good show, close your eyes.
Yeah.
And see where you're going to be in 5 years, 2 years, 1 year. See where you're going to be, see where you came from, see where you are.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that everything you want to have happen, you got to manifest it within. Because if you don't see it, you don't believe it, you can't feel it, you can't hear it, you can't touch it in your head.
Yeah.
Then you ain't ever going to do it outside.
Yeah.
And how you talk to yourself, how you view yourself is the same way you're going to talk and view this world.
Yeah.
And so look, not everything comes as fast as we want, not everything happens as fast as we want, but the reality is if you believe it, you'll do it. And even my passwords, my passwords have everything to do with what I want in my life.
Really? So every time you put it, it's a reminder.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every password I have has a relevance to where I'm at and where I'm going.
Yeah.
And when my life changes, so do my passwords, so that every time I do something, I can type it in and just remind myself one more time where I'm going, what I want to see.
That's amazing. Where do you feel like you picked that up from? Because did you have a father figure after the incident? Was it just like your aunt and you and your sister?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was, I went through pretty intense therapy with my sister.
Yeah,
and,
I can imagine.
Pretty intense, and it was kind of experiential therapy, and we did things that a lot of people thought were absolutely crazy. My sister and I were the first minors to have a private court order to view autopsy photos. And people thought my therapist was nuts. And what's funny is the whole time during
that was the therapist's idea.
Yeah, and the whole time during the trial, the therapist wanted us to see the autopsy photos, and everybody thought he was crazy, and they wouldn't do it. And they're like, "Dude, you're crazy! Don't put these kids through this." So when the trial happened, it was on TV up there, and the autopsy photos were shown in a way that only the jurors could see it. So the people that were attending and the cameras couldn't see it. So he said, "No, that's not happening." So sure enough, he gets a court order. And I'll never forget. We go to the district attorney's office, or the prosecutor's office, and she came in and she put the folder on the table and she looked at him and said, "This is absolutely crazy. I don't know why you're doing this to these kids." She left, and the therapist looked at my sister and I, and in a real calm voice, he goes, "You know what? I really don't care if you look at these.
Yeah,
it was never about that.
Yeah,
but here's what's going to happen. Nobody's going to understand this, but I'm telling you right now, you're going to be in your 20s or your 30s, and you might want to see your dad again. Nobody can answer that but you. And their opinions don't really matter. Yeah. Because it ain't you.
Yeah.
So you have a decision, and I just wanted this decision to be yours.
Yeah.
You can look at them. And if you do, when you come to your 20s and 30s, and whether you want to talk to your dad or not, you're not going to ask what happened. You're not going to wonder.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's going to be irrelevant to what your purpose is on having closure with this whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to walk out this door, and you can look at them or you can't, and I'll never even ask you. Yeah. Because I don't care. It's your call. So he walked out, and I peeked at him. Never once had a nightmare. Never once had, never really thought of it. It was just closure. Yeah. Like I know what happened. Yeah. And so sure enough, we go through all this therapy and stuff, and then I was probably in my early 20s when I still had kind of this cloud in my own head, and I wanted to be a great person. I wanted to do great things, and I wanted to bring honor back to my name. And one thing that drives me nuts is being babysat. I can't do it. I can't deal with it. You know, and I see people in my industry get babysat all the time, and I just wonder, how do you allow yourself to? It's such an embarrassment, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, early on in when I was a kid, I knew I wanted to be a pro athlete and I wanted to be a magician. And to this day, it's the only two jobs I've ever had. Yeah, yeah. So 15, 16, I was getting hired to do corporate events and making great money, and then
already with the magic. Yeah, dude, really? Okay, so you, I didn't know it was like an early.
Yeah, I spent 3 or 4 years and never even did a trick. I just learned moves, and I knew I was going to be like my ADD was going to kick in. I don't have ADD, I don't think, but like I knew I was going to screw up. Yeah, I knew I was going to screw up. Yeah. So instead of learning tricks with pattern, and the trick goes A, B, C, and there's like this constant through line, I just learned a bunch of moves that would get me in and out of situations, so that when I screwed up, they wouldn't realize I screwed up. Yeah. And then I would make a different trick.
Have that happen.
Card from boom. Here you go. Yeah. And that in turn taught me how to relate to people, and really this whole world's about people. That's all it is. Yeah. Business, it doesn't matter. It's all about relationships, and it's all about surrounding yourself with people that want to see you succeed. And let me tell you this, the keys to success are super easy. I mean, this is not a hard thing. Yeah. It's simple, it's easy, you work hard and you treat people right. And pretty soon people fight for you, and people want to see you succeed.
Isn't that crazy how simple it is?
It's simple.
I feel like the same way with health. Like every day there's a new trend and a new fad and a new diet. It's like it's very simple. Eat good, get sleep,
work out. Take care of yourself.
It's not that crazy. Like, it's been the same for the last however many years, you know.
Yeah. What's the old theory? If a caveman didn't eat it, don't eat it.
Yeah.
So I have a sweet tooth. That's
Bagel bites.
Oh God, I love them.
The bagel bite.
I love them. So anyway, going back. So I was in my 20s, and I remember going down to the beach here, and I was looking out in the ocean, and it was a kind of an interesting dynamic. I realized that I had to learn how to forgive myself in order to move on. And what I mean by that is, I felt like if I forgave my dad, that my mom would resent me. And it would be like I'm picking sides.
Yeah.
Because many times, dude, and it's in family, it's in this, it's in that. When people get divorced, all of a sudden you're forced to pick sides, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're in a couple and your friends get divorced, well, you can't be friends with both because then they hate you.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't understand.
Yeah.
But the reality
you had my back.
Yeah, but the reality is the dynamic of my relationship with either one of you isn't what it was between you two. So whatever happened between you two, it didn't happen between me and that other person. So a lot of people feel like if they forgive or if they choose, that the other person's going to resent them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And at that moment, I realized, like, I can either be a pawn in somebody's life or I cannot be, and I can make my own decisions. And so I realized, you know what, Mom? And I looked up in the sky. I said, look, either you're going to agree or not agree, but I don't really care. But I do know this, that if I'm going to be the man you want me to be, then I need to forgive Dad. And for that reason, I think you're going to understand this. And I did. Greatest thing that ever happened to me.
That was 20s.
I was in my 20s, yeah, and early 20s. And then I realized at that point that I will never let somebody not my life affect my life. It's not happening.
How much was it affecting your life? I mean, I don't see how it couldn't. You'd be angry, you'd be bitter.
It wasn't so much that as much as you just kind of have this cloud of clarity.
Yeah.
And you got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Right? And you just want to live and not worry about it. And you know, I have people in my family, I think, that still sometimes it still haunts them.
Yeah.
And things in their past.
Yeah.
They still have a hard time getting over it.
A lot of people are, I mean, you're a guy in not the spelling bee, that was what I was doing earlier. From earlier, but are affected by like high school.
Yeah.
I was at my brother's like 20-year reunion the other day, and they're still mad the coach didn't put him in. All stuff. It's like, how are you even still thinking about this? This is like, it's okay. Let's get it out. Let's get it out.
I have one little bitterness about high school.
What happened?
Still not in my high school Hall of Fame, which is
really. Who is in your high school Hall of Fame? Is there anyone?
I don't even know.
Is there anyone?
I don't know. I don't even know if we have. Actually, now that you bring that, no, there is one.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a few people. I don't even.
Well, he can't do any magic tricks.
I know, right?
Yeah, he's single. He's on a double threat.
I'm not in my high school Hall of Fame, you know. All century at college, but high school. Didn't make all league. I'm actually still upset. I led the league in tackles, didn't make all league. That right there is, I don't know what's going on.
How does that even happen?
I don't know. I was an honorable mention. And I was like, dude.
Not good enough. Not
happening, dude. But you know what? Those are the things Michael Jordan cut from his basketball team. You know? So those are the things. And you know, the reality that this is what I learned is that not everybody's going to agree with you, and not everybody's going to think you're doing it right, but you have to find your own path. You have to find your own way. Even this right here, you know, I'm looking at your book right now, and we're in the process of writing one, and people come up and they ask advice and this and that. And the reality is, times have changed, right? So back then there used to be this road that you would take, and you would call this person, and they would call the publisher, and then you do this. But now there's so many opportunities. Self-publishing, Amazon. There's so many different things that you can do. Hard work, treat people right. And you know, when I was in college, it was either guys flunking out of school, or guys having kids too young, or I don't want to say too young because maybe that's the path they wanted, but for me it wasn't the path I wanted. Or they get into drugs. They just weed themselves out.
All the distractions and the temptations that come along with that.
And even now, you know, I do things, and you know, my wife's like, why do you get up so early? So I'll get up at 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'm ready to go working out early in the morning. Then I go, and then I go back again, and because I hate getting up in the morning. I hate it.
But there's something about it once you do it and you finish that workout, and you know most people aren't even awake yet, that makes me feel like I got more done, you know, by 7 a.m. than most people are going to get done today. And that juices me a little bit. Like, I'm like, I don't know, for me in the morning, and it's a struggle for me too.
For me, that doesn't kick in until I get hit really hard and I don't want to get up. And I'm in a game and some guy just lit me up. I'm struggling. That's when I get up and say, dude, there's no way I got up at 4 in the morning all these days for nothing. And what happens is you invest in yourself, and it's harder to give up on yourself. But if you're not willing to sacrifice certain things in your life that you really enjoy doing, if you're not willing to sacrifice and make those choices, then when it gets really hard, people quit. And when I was on that path, people tried to make it convenient, and guess what? Some way or another, they found a way to quit on themselves. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's the decision that they wanted to make and they're happy, that's not what it's about, but it's about what I wanted and how I wanted to get there. You got to invest in yourself. You got to sacrifice, and you got to be willing to put things aside that you really enjoy doing.
Discipline.
Discipline.
Yeah.
For
Did you have that at a young age when you were in like?
Yeah, I did.
Because I remember for me it was basketball, and like probably 13 years old. One Eat Sugar, doing calf raises and all these things, and kind of a little weird for a kid that age to be, doing these things. But it was like I knew, similar to you, like there's people that are bigger, faster, stronger, and I'm gonna have to do everything right all the time if I'm even gonna have a chance at doing something like this. When we won our little league like state championships, things like if we win, I'm gonna have a root beer float. That was like the big crazy thing that I was gonna do. I was like gonna have sugar or whatever. But what age did that kind of kick in for you? It sounds like you knew magic
13,
and football.
14.
About junior high.
Yeah, I was, also what I had been through, I kind of grew up pretty quick. Yeah. And I knew what I wanted. And then because I grew up quick and I had the therapy, I just felt like I was a few years ahead of people. And I looked around and I would just laugh at decisions that kids would make because, now look, had I not been through what I had been through, I probably would have done the same stupid stuff because I'd be a kid. But I just felt like I was older and I had to grow up. I had to. And so, part of it too is when I do something, if I'm all in, I'm all in. And I'm not going to do it just to do it. Like I want to be really good at it. And magic for me, so I always say that, football helped me find myself, but magic saved my life. And, when I got into magic and I got into shuffling, it was a matter of, even to this day, if I sit down at a table and I shuffle cards, I'm just me. I'm just alone. And I clear my mind. And if I ever need to make an important decision, I sit down and I shuffle. And
those cards don't care about what you're doing on the field. They don't care if people recognize you. It's like it's a level playing field.
And it's what's my escape, what's my out. Maybe it's playing basketball with other people, whatever it is, but it's about finding that balance and that escape and being able to separate yourself from the world and being able to separate yourself from everybody else's motives on why they want to be involved in your life. And you being able to sit there and process what your own reality is. Because let me tell you this, dude, it doesn't matter. The world doesn't care who you are or where you are, and all this success and all that stuff, it's all fake. Because as soon as you're irrelevant, nobody cares, right? So it's about you being able to sit down and coming to terms with your own reality and coming to terms with the things in your life that you need to have closure with to be able to move on. Now look, I ain't perfect. You know what I mean? I went through a divorce that ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me. Like I literally, I was miserable. But if I didn't really come to terms with what my reality was, I would have never met the greatest thing that I have in my life today. I wouldn't have been, and I was still not in the greatest place. But when I met Annalise, she turned my heart right side up, and it's been literally the best 2 years of my life. Like by far, I've never been happier. But it's about coming to terms with other parts of your life and having closure with those, and realizing that, hey, it is what it is. It's done now. I'm moving on, and people of your past don't affect your future. And you move on, and you start really gravitating to the people that your future is going to kind of align you with, right? And your present's going to align you with, and really cherishing those people. And so those are things that I've come to terms with, and that's helped me in the business of football, realizing that, look, the reality is you can't control everything, right? So the sooner you realize that, control the things you can control, put yourself in a position.
Stop trying to control those other things.
Put yourself in a position to be successful, and guess what? Like I said, it might not always happen at the time that you want it to happen, but the thing that I've found is that if I'm always prepared, like my motto, people always ask me what my motto is. My motto is, because Coach will be like, John, you want to warm up? Why? No, I'm good. Let's roll. Well, you don't need to warm up. Coach, stay ready, so you never got to get ready. Let's go, dude. In and out. We're one.
What a dumb question. Why would you even ask me that?
Stay ready, so you never got to get ready. Well, that's life. So that way, when your number's called in the game and in life,
opportunity comes,
you're ready. You're prepared. And guess what? If it doesn't happen, so be it. It just wasn't meant to be. But let's hope it doesn't happen because you weren't prepared, because you lacked. Because you were sitting there worried about other things and other people that you didn't handle your own business. Like they've over the years, they've brought in other snappers to compete with me, and as soon as it happens, because I've been in the league a long time, right? As soon as it happened, the media's like, "Oh my gosh, Dorenbos, the team's bringing somebody in," and they just want it. Look, the media's in the business of ratings. They're not in the business of anything other than ratings.
They're trying to stir up.
That's it.
It's the Kardashians.
It's it. They're in the business of ratings. So whatever they can get in there and stir up, that's what they want to do.
Have you been with the same team this whole time, or have you bounced around?
So 2 years in Buffalo, like a year and a half in Tennessee, and then this will be 12 in Philly. So this will be my 15th season. But what I'm getting to the point is, they would always come to me and say, "Yo, dude, other snappers are coming in. The team obviously wants to get rid of you. How do you feel about this? What are you thinking about? Who are you concerned with?" First of all, I could care less who they bring in, because if
they're gonna have to.
And now look, this
they don't have the experience.
Well, to me, I'm not saying they're clown shows. But in my head, if this clown show beats me out, then guess what? That's my fault. And anybody else's fault but mine. Now there's other scenarios here. Maybe he's younger. Maybe he's cheaper.
Yeah,
Maybe there's a salary cap issue. So now these are all things that I could sit there and worry about, or you can say, look, if that's the way it's going to be, that's out of my control. So if it's a cap issue, an age issue, a money issue, if it's a coach coming in, it's a political issue, none of that affects what I do.
Yeah, yeah.
I can let it. I can let it.
Yeah.
Or you can just say, look, I don't really care. I'm going to do what I do, and if I'm not the right fit here, peace out, so long. I'm going to find my way. But guess what? When people ask me, oh my gosh, why are you worried about your competition? No. Well, why not? He's 6'5", he's 250, he's better snapper than you.
Yeah.
Well, that's not my competition.
Yeah.
Like, well, what do you mean? I'm my competition.
Yeah.
If I want to let that guy get in my head, then it's over. But guess what? That guy ain't going to get in my head.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I've been there, done that. Let me tell you this, when I get down,
is it cutthroat like that when they come in? They're like, it's not like, see, that's what I want to know. Like, did you toe the balance of, because I've been in a position where you're like, am I grooming up this person to be, you know, to kind of take them under your wing, or is it dog eat dog in this?
No, I don't do that.
Yeah.
I even had a conversation with some coaches over my career.
You can, or else you wouldn't last.
Well, my thing is, it ain't my job to get that guy ready.
Yeah.
It ain't my job to groom this guy because you think he's a better fit because he's cheaper or because he's younger to take my job.
Yeah.
You want him ready and you want to go with that guy and you trust that guy when it's 4th and 10, we're on the 2-yard line in Dallas and you know, the owner's got $20 million on the line and we're going to go to the playoffs. If you want that kid, that's up to you.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this, I've been there and I've done that. And I'm going to roll the dice on me, but it ain't my job to get him ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he wants to hang,
I love it. No, I'm getting like fired up right now, like just the competitive nature.
Now look, I'm a nice guy.
Yeah. But when it comes to competing, and especially in sports, can't play that.
Hey, let me tell you this, dude. It's do or die, and I'm in a world where we're alone. And we got one shot.
Yeah.
You know, so like I said, I want this team. It really comes down to this. This is my belief. And if there's any athlete that tells you anything different, they're full of it.
Yeah.
I believe that this team's better with me than without me. I believe that my teammates would rather play with me than against me. And I believe that I'm going to add value to this team that hopefully my opponents don't want to play against me because you're consistent. That's my belief.
Yeah.
And that's what I work for.
Yeah.
Now, until that belief changes, okay, then I'll start grooming that kid.
Yeah.
But until then, these are my friends. I've been with them 12 years.
Yeah.
I love the owner. I love this organization. I love this city.
Yeah.
And until I feel like I don't got it, I don't think that guy's your answer.
Yeah.
I am.
Are you this vocal when you have these conversations with these people, or is this just your mindset?
Both.
Because I love it, and I feel like they would respect that. And if like I'm like the coach or something, I'm like, we need to go with him. He's got the confidence. He knows what he's doing.
It changes because we're in the entertainment business. We play this game as athletes because we love it. But the reality is it's a business, right? And so, you know, teams will cut you and not pay you the second that they deem that there's somebody better, younger, cheaper, whatever the scenario is. And guess what? That's their job. So there's no resentment. It's just, it is what it is, right? And then all of a sudden a player will hold out and the media will be all over this player. Well, guess what? If that guy thinks he deserves more money, who am I to say that he doesn't, right? It's the side, it's the business that sometimes fans and sometimes they don't want to really kind of not understand, but they just don't want to think it's real. They just want their superstar athlete to show up every day and work hard, and they do. I'm not saying that. But the sooner, again, that you can not worry about all that stuff and just let it play out, the better. So now, different players at different points in their career are going to be vocal in different ways based on leverage and based on where they are. And that's just the reality of this business. If you sign a guy and you give him a $100 million deal and you're going to guarantee him $65 million and he's on year one of that deal, he might be a little bit more vocal because he ain't going nowhere. But you got a rookie free agent who's bounced around, that's making league minimum, that's battling a guy that you guaranteed $1 million. He's going to do whatever he has to do. He's probably not going to say a word. He's going to show up and he's going to do whatever he has to do.
Has no leverage.
He has no leverage. And so now, you know, it's the dynamic of when do you listen to a player who's just complaining, or when do you listen to a player that's making a legit point?
He knows what he's talking about.
And that's the dynamic of business and life. It's just kind of managing that and trying to make the best decision for a team to be successful, because the team's responsibility is to win games. That's it. You know what I mean? But it's the player's goal to make this a career, which means he needs to make money to provide for his family.
So all these different agendas coming together.
That's
like, how do we make it all work?
That's what it is.
And that's what was so fun for me with sports is, as a point guard, you know, run the show, be the kind of leader, is like relating to people. Well, it's the same thing, like you said, working hard, treating people good. On the court, it's like one guy you can yell at and hit him in the chest, and you have to do that to get him focused or dialed in when things are going right. Another guy you can talk very meekly to, and because he would, you know, lose it if you went in on him like that. So it's like of how to relate to people differently, that they'll actually, it'll get through to them and they'll receive the information and be able to make the adjustment that you need. And that was the biggest challenge for me that I enjoyed the most about sports, because all the other stuff, this can be learned. All the technique, hours up early, that all can be learned. But learning what makes people tick, and then on the counter side of it, how do I get in that guy's head? How do I take away his strength without him knowing that I'm making him go left? Or just I want to be beating him for as long as I can without him knowing how. So he's shaking his head like, I can't figure out what's going on. And that's what's beautiful, I feel like, about this too, because you're dealing it not just on the field, but also, hey, I want to be likable, but I also want to stand my ground, but I also have to know it's entertainment, and people are gunning for you and they're making up fake drama. So it's like, it's this whole line that you have to toe. And I feel like most of the people who are doing it don't do it very well, as we see the...
Well, it's lining agendas, right? So
yeah.
To me, it comes back to this simple philosophy of work really hard and treat people right.
Yeah.
And then they're all going to want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
And they're all going to want to be they're all going to want you to be a part of their world, because you affect them in a positive way. So I'm not the best snapper, I'm not the best in protection, I'm not the best in coverage.
Yeah.
But I think in all three aspects of my job, when you combine all three, I think I'm pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But I know what I bring in the locker room.
Yeah.
And there's a value to that.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate that I've been with an organization that also sees and values that, and they've allowed me to be me, and they've allowed me to kind of do my thing.
Yeah.
And that's been really cool. So I've had chances in years prior to go into free agency and to leave Philadelphia, but
can't do it.
Can't do it, man. I genuinely love being there. I love our owner. I love what he stands for. I love the way they treat people. The front office, the coaches. It's a great place to be, and it's made me a better person. And that's important too, is finding those.
I love it. You were talking earlier about how a lot of people are being babysat. Were you able to, I guess, not get caught up in that? And are you able to help these guys or is their mindset so far gone that it's like, I guess, how do you, when you achieve at a high level, how are you able to stay grounded and not get, you know, swept in it? Because it could be very easy. It's very attractive. There's a lot of perks that come to it, and so many people are lost. For you, is that just something that's just naturally, this is who I am, and it wasn't ever a struggle? Or is it something that you had to really work through in your own head? I feel like I asked 18 questions in that one.
It's all
say whatever you need.
Yeah, right. For me, it was natural. Like, I don't want to sound like that guy, but for me, I knew the whole thing was fake.
Yeah.
And I had also been through a lot in my life growing up and had everything taken away, and I think I've become really good at just adapting to my surroundings and just figuring out life and how to live and how to survive. Now, with that being said, I never thought I'd play in the NFL. So when I made it, every year I played, I thought I was getting released. Yeah,
so you're busting your butt.
Yeah, but that created balance for me. That meant that I would play a season, and then I would just go perform and figure out life. And then all of a sudden April would come around, we'd have a team meeting. I'd be like, holy cow, I'm still on this team. Right?
What's going on, dude?
Yeah,
am I supposed to be here?
I'd get my flight, and I'd go, and I'd sit in the team meeting and be like, all right, I guess we're doing this another year.
Cool.
And so, you know, and then you're around a lot of people, and, you know, there's players that I've played with that they get to the NFL and they're cool, but then they become what they think the image is of what it is to be in the NFL.
And it's usually like the guy that's not, in my experience in entertainment, it's like not the A-list people that are acting like diva. It's like the B or C that want to be A-list, and you're like, dude, like...
Well, they try...
Well, because they're thinking what they think that is, the exact same thing, I feel like.
Well, it's like people that have money, they don't need to... prove that they have money.
Yeah, I don't need... Okay.
It's the people that usually don't, that feel like they have to make people think they do, you know? And that's a they
buy a bus, they put their face on it, driving around. Those people.
I can't stand those people.
Yeah, they're the worst.
The worst.
I love that thing about forgiveness. I had a similar experience in my senior year. So build up, you know, whole life investing in basketball. You know, the little white guy from Alaska. Come to a senior year, I have a new coach come in, and long story short, it just didn't go well. And I've never quit anything really in my life up until that point. Halfway through the season, I was like, I can't even do this. I'm miserable. It wasn't fun. It was like, I don't even want to say it's a job, because I've been in that tract in college. I don't know if you've ever been there, where it's like, am I really enjoying this? Like, or am I just here because it's free education and that kind of thing? And then something happens and you get that love back. And for me, the speaking and this stuff we're doing got the love back for basketball for me. But I had that coach, and I was literally so angry and so bitter, and I had all these fantasies of like things I wanted to do with baseball bats in his car, and like all these things, like, you know, I just fantasized it, and it was consuming me. And it even like that cloud that you're talking about, like, I totally understand that, because I had that cloud, and it was even affecting my health to a certain degree, like my sight. And finally, and I give my parents and family a lot of credit for it, you know, I was like, I have to forgive this guy and move on, or I'm letting him, that person that's not in my life,
affect your life,
affect and control my life. And why would, I'm so stubborn, like, why would I let that guy have power over me, you know, and ego kicked a little bit. So I when I forgave that guy, honestly, physically you could feel like a weight off your shoulders, and then the door opened for me to come to LA and start doing entertainment stuff. And I booked a thing for Kobe Bryant, like literally very quickly, and I know it never would have happened if I hadn't had that moment of forgiveness and was able to move on. So I just think that's a beautiful thing, and it's great to hear like someone else who has a similar situation where you're like, yeah, because it's hard. I mean, I can't imagine having to forgive someone. I was mad at a coach that ruined a little bit of basketball. I mean, your situation, I don't see a lot of people bouncing back in the way that you did, and I think it's remarkable, man. And I just want to like commend you. That's such a good example.
I had help too. I mean, I had a great family. You know, my aunt raised me unbelievable. My grandparents, and I, to this day, I pick really good friends. Like the people I chose to hang out with. Yeah. You can say I'm friends with a lot of people. Yeah. But the people I really choose to spend my time with, we just got married. I'm 37 years old, and we just got married, and I had 6 people in my wedding, and all of them are from junior high.
That's amazing.
Like they're all my friends from junior high and high school.
They don't care.
We had six best men, no groomsmen, and even
a lot of speeches, huh?
Yours were all from pretty much. Friends, yeah, you had 2 people from, one from Vegas, but for the most part, it's all people she grew up with, and so it says a lot about, you know, you're just the friends that you find early. You know what? Here's something that I've noticed too, because, you know, working with kids and stuff. Yeah. Sometimes kids don't realize the decisions they make young have such a huge impact on their life, and they just think that this is great, this is dandy, but it's the decisions you make around high school, early college, like those decisions are going to affect everything you do going forward, and you're either going to be ahead of the game or you're going to get really far behind the game, and you're going to be in your mid-30s before you know it. Yeah. And you're going to look back and be like, holy cow, when I was 18, if I had only just maybe just taken this a little bit more seriously, or that. And maybe I shouldn't have dropped out of college to make 25 grand a year, which seemed like a lot of money. Yeah. Game changer. Game changer. Oh my gosh, I just made 30 grand. Yeah, it's a lot when you're out of high school. But it's looking at growth. It's looking at where it's making sacrifices and realizing that if I pay my dues now, it's going to pay off later. And I think a lot of people sometimes take those decisions for granted and don't really think them through, and they go for short term, you know, and it's...
Man, I just got a call a couple weeks ago from, it was actually a picture of my buddy in here, and the picture is of us because I'm about here and he's up here. He was a man child, and he was one of my best friends growing up, and not to put all his business out there, but around junior high, parents got a divorce, he got into drugs, and it led him down a whole path that he, to this day, 30 years old, calling me, hey man, I finally just got out of the halfway thing. He's been locked up for 2 years. The greatest guy, awesome heart, but he, a lot of kids got into Oxycontin, where up north where I was at in Alaska. It was just a thing, and several of them died in their mid-20s, 6 years later, after, you know, we're out of high school. And I know several of them are still battling it today, and his life has been turned upside down, all from the choices, like you said, they're making when you're 13, 14, 15 years old. Yeah. So it's...
how old are you?
I'm 30. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Oxycontin was big when I was like 23, 24, 25, so it's... Yeah,
I mean, it's like, I know a lot about it now because of my friends' experience. It's like synthetic heroin. It's you know, it's very addictive, and it's you know, he'll never be the same. He can't go to have a drink, you know, because that will lead to another thing, you know.
It's the gateway.
Yeah, yeah. So it's, you know, it's tough, and that's why when the work that we're doing when we're going to all these schools, we do college, we do high school, but I always have the most fun at junior high because I feel like that's when they're starting to make those decisions, and even younger than that nowadays. Back when I was pretty innocent and naive to a lot of it, but some of it was going on at that time. But now with the phone, access, internet, they know everything way younger than when we were in school. Yeah. So it's well, yeah, it's interesting.
You just nailed it there. It's kind of sad in a way that the kids today will never know what it's like to not have access. Yeah. They're never going to know what it's like to not be in touch right away, or to just be a kid and ride a bike and not worry about Snapchatting it or Instagram it, or just that world's gone. Yeah. You know, so being able to control that and you know, like, and this goes back to finding, you know, what your thing is, and for me it's shuffling cards. It just separates me from that world. You got to get out of it. Yeah. And you got to find it, you know, and you got to have something you love doing. And
I used to live random family friends with Ted Nugent, the rock star. Like him, love him. I feel like half people worship him, half of them absolutely think he's
real quick, not to interrupt.
No.
We played Dallas back in like 2008 or something like that. And I think it was on Christmas. Yeah. And he stood probably 10 feet in front of me and did the national anthem.
Oh, he can rip it.
It was pretty sick.
Yeah, he can rip it. Yeah, he can rip it.
It was pretty sick. Yeah.
He, what was I saying? Oh, so for him, and I always thought this was interesting because I have a hunting background. Like, I've never shot anything, but my family does. I was the you know, guy in the gym, like, Jesse, he's a letdown. He's not fishing or whatever. But for him, he gets out and he gets in the wilderness and he's hunting, and it's like the deer doesn't care who he is, doesn't care how many tickets he sold or what he's on stage, and so he gets like this balance of where he gets to have some normality in his life, and I always thought that was a pretty funny one.
There's a great documentary. Harrison Ford did it. It's been a while because I had a couple surgeries on my wrist, but I love flying. Okay. And Harrison Ford did a documentary, and it's
didn't he crash a plane? At one point? Yeah, a couple. That's his thing. He was doing...
Nice job, Harrison. But he pulled out of it.
Air Force One, he was practicing for the role, maybe.
Yeah, so he's flown his for forever. But the documentary is basically him, and he's got a place in, I think, Jackson, Wyoming, or Jacksonville, or whatever it's called. And
you fly? Yeah. You got your... Okay. Yeah. My brother's a pilot for Southwest, Oh,
cool.
Yeah. We were trying to get Jennifer on a float plane in Alaska.
Oh, come on, you got to go.
Yeah, she's terrified, but she was going to do it.
So Annalise actually went up, and so it took me...
You went up with him?
150. It took me like 150 hours.
Yeah, how many hours you got?
A couple hundred.
Okay.
And probably like 400. Anyways, it took me a while to be able to turn a plane, because what happens is you go up and you hold an altitude, say it's 10,000 feet, and you have to turn it 360 degrees and hold your altitude within 100 feet. Yeah. But then you have to come out. So if we're going to do 360, which is north, 360 degrees, it's like a compass, right? So we're heading 360 north. You got to go left and turn all the way around. But then when you come out of the turn, you have to be going dead 360. Okay. So you come out of the turn like 15 degrees sooner, and then you boom, so you're But you have to keep it within 100 feet and no autopilot. Okay. Dude, that took me forever.
Is that like to pass a thing, or is this just you working on it?
Well, both. Okay. That's one of the criteria.
It's like if you were driving
her first try, she did it. Dude, she did it within like 10 feet.
It's like almost perfect.
And I'm literally like, dude, there's no way.
You were so like, you're like beginners, like, do it again. She did it 5 more times in a row.
This is not happening. Like, yeah, babe, I did that the first try too.
It's really easy. It's really easy. Did you do it again, or only that one time?
Only that one.
Yeah. Why do it again?
I want to see if she can do it again, or if it was beginner's luck. Yeah. You're like, why would I?
Yeah. And you know what's cool is, you know, the first time you land. So, because a lot of people are like, oh, I just want to learn how to take off.
And it's a wheel plane?
It's easy.
Like,
yeah, there's three. Yeah, there's 2 on the sides.
Okay, yeah. But
Yeah. I fly a Cirrus. That's the name of the plane. Okay. And there's just something about like your first landing and just kind of being able to land on your own. That's just kind of just cool, man.
And especially if it's a graceful. Oh, was your first one? Is your first touchdown good?
I haven't had any graceful ones yet, but for the most part, no. But going back, Harrison Ford. His documentary is all about him getting into flying and loving flying, but then he would go up all the time because he was just a number. Yeah. Nobody cared who he was. The air traffic control didn't know who he was.
Yeah. Put a hat on.
Yeah. And he was just a number in the air and just lost.
Yeah. And just lost and crashing.
But
you get crashed like anyone else.
But you find really successful people, it seems like all of them have that. No matter how famous they get, no matter how broke they are, no matter how rich they are, they all have that one thing that they can get lost in. Yeah. That gives them balance.
Yeah.
And you
have to find that thing.
You got to find it.
It's and the ones who don't, are the ones that have these meltdowns, all these things. It's like they got away from the writing, they got away from working on the music, they got away from being in the gym, whatever it is.
And ultimately,
we see both happen a lot.
Yeah, and I'm really good friends with a guy named Steve Chasman, and he manages Jet Li and Jason Statham, and does all their movies, produces
all the badass guys.
Yeah, he's cool.
What a fun job.
He's a great dude. But he said early on in my career, and he actually started. He just kind of fell into the role of representing Dennis Rodman, and that's kind of.
I've had some Dennis. Well, he's down here. Didn't he used to run around in a limo down here?
Yeah.
He was my coach one time in a ball-up street ball game, and he was hitting on my girlfriend really aggressively. And my dad, Bob Mamba, was there, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Dennis Rodman likes your girl." And then they must have been paying him by like to a certain time. He literally gets up. There's like 8 minutes left in the game. He comes up. He gives me a hug. We have this, and he goes, "You're a fast little shit," and rubbed my head, and then he just left. And there's 8 minutes left, and everyone's like, "I guess Dennis is over. He's no longer coaching the team." It was so funny. But
I walked in on him singing karaoke by himself in a bar in Tahoe.
You didn't know he was going to be there, and you just showed up, and there's.
Yeah, he's just by himself. Anyways, he's a great dude. I've met him a few.
Oh, it seems like he's always having fun.
Yeah, he's a character. I don't even know where we
he's solving our relationships with other countries too now.
North Korea.
Yeah. He's an ambassador.
I hope he does it.
You were saying your buddy who kind of fell. Sounds like into a mentorship. Mentor role for you.
So Chasman does all this, and he said early in my career, and he got into the entertainment side, management, producing, and then they did the Transporters, all these movies, and he's like, I would push, and I just making calls 24/7, and he goes, finally it just dawned on me that I was wasting my life away, and all of a sudden I started doing yoga and just taking a step back. And pressing a little bit harder. And then everything started falling into place. And more people started saying yes. And it was just funny. It's just...
He kind of, like we were talking about earlier...
Just step back.
Step back. You can't control everything.
And just
stop worrying about it.
And he would just kind of go in and do his thing, and then just step back, walk away, and just let it take its course. And again, sometimes it doesn't happen as fast as you want it to. And then, like I said, he found yoga and these different parts of his life that he was being able to kind of get within himself and separate and spend time with his family, and next thing you know, he's like, dude, things just started happening. Because I just kind of took a deep breath and separated myself from it and found clarity and balance. And balance is huge, dude. Balance is everything.
It's so hard, especially if I feel like you're very type A. Am I correct in that? Is he a type A guy? I mean, he's up at 4 working out.
Oh, just up like that.
Yeah.
Going, don't talk to me till I have my coffee.
Don't even look at me.
Don't look at me. I need.
But it's. Oh, go ahead.
No, go. Yeah.
It's like when you're someone who's an achiever, and like, I got to get these things, and you feel like you're wasting time. That's something I all the time. It's like, oh, it's okay just to take a breath and breathe, do yoga. We were sitting down with this guy named DJ Ski. I don't know if you know him. Awesome guy. Here comes.
Bless you.
You've been blessed. Bless you. And he was saying the same thing, like early on in his career, and he's been very successful. Like, he's a 30 for 30 guy, and he wouldn't take the trips. He would just meetings and all stuff, and that was like his one big takeaway at the end. He was like, I would, if I was doing it all over again, go on that trip, go on that cool experience. That you can push the meeting; those people are still going to be there. But when you're working so hard and you don't want to miss out on that opportunity, sometimes you just let life go by. It's like you're missing out on all these great moments and enjoying those experiences. It's hard.
Yeah, I get lost in that. I think we all do. We all get lost in that. And Ani's, she's the one that pulls me back. She's the balance. She's she's the one pushing, and she's the one kind of, in the right way, pushing all these opportunities and wanting me to do everything I want to do. And then sometimes she's like, hey, let's just, you know what I mean? Let's just chill out for a minute. And to have that balance and to have somebody with you that understands that and helps with that, it's big time. Big time.
What's the key? I'm just going to put this out, relationship wise, I mean, what do you feel like is the key to it all? I'm single, trying to figure out. I feel like I have a lot of areas of my life very dialed in, very know what's going on. When it comes to that, totally lost.
People try way too hard these days, I feel, and they don't let it happen naturally. And I think that's why so many relationships fail. It's like they settle, or they try way too hard, and I think you just need to let it happen naturally. And when you find that person that you're meant to be with, and that you have that great, insane chemistry with, it just works.
Well, let me tell you how we met.
I'd love to hear.
So basically what happened is...
Tinder.
Yeah, right.
He swiped right.
Yeah. He said no, but then he had the Instagrams, then he got in the DMs.
All right.
Yeah, right. No, so I was about a year and a half out of my divorce, and we had a mutual friend, and he called me up. He's like, "Look, John," and this is my version. Okay, obviously she stalked me, and it was aggressive.
Yeah. She's very aggressive.
Kidding. He's like, John, look, you got to meet this chick. She's unbelievable. And like, whether you
shout
guys,
out to John right now.
I know, right?
Right? And right. So you got to meet her, and whether you guys date, whether you don't, I just think it's somebody that you guys need to meet, and you'll be good in each other's lives.
Okay. Time out. Had you put a bug in John's ear, or did he just organically get this? Or you're like, I want to meet him?
Well, no. So it was a mutual friend.
Okay.
Yeah, so this guy, Tim.
So he's like, I just see this.
He basically knew her and knew me and was like, ding, 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 I got to get these two together.
Okay.
So he calls me up, Tim, and it says all that, and then I go, okay, what's her name? Annalise. Well, that's a pretty name. It's really, Annalise. It's 3 syllables. That's really, it's pretty.
Yeah.
All right, what does she do? Well, she works in Vegas. Okay, here we go.
Okay,
No. She works in Vegas.
Hostess. She's just a hostess.
She's a 6-foot gorgeous blonde.
Yeah.
Great. So I got a 6-foot blonde that lives in Vegas. Tim, I'm good.
Yeah.
So he calls her, and
he calls me and says, hey, I got this great guy.
Same thing.
It's like, I'm just sick of people trying to hook me up. Just forget it. Because you get to a point where people always tell you, oh, I have this girl for you, or I have this guy for you, and it gets kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, fine, and he keeps telling me about John. I said, okay, fine, I trust you, you're a good guy. What does John do for a living? And he says, he plays for the NFL. I go, forget it.
You
no.
immediately were
I'm
like,
like,
athlete,
no,
I know
athlete.
this road.
I deal with all their accounts in Vegas.
You said I was a degenerate.
I said they're degenerate, quote unquote douchebag.
Okay.
No, absolutely not. What are you trying to do?
Some of them, good and bad.
I said no, and he said, just trust me. Let me do an introduction, and then you can go from there.
So let me now.
Okay, now let's reel it back in. He said, take the mic off.
Check. The mic's back.
Yeah, it's hot mic.
So Moon, I'm not looking, because his name's Tim Mooney. I call him Moon. I go, I'm not looking for a relationship, dude. I'm not looking to get married. I don't want kids. Like, I'm good, dude.
Yeah.
And no, you're good. She totally understands the situation. Right?
She hates you just as much as you hate her.
So then it comes to
this is like the worst. I gotta hear about this first date.
Yeah. So then it comes down to, okay, this is perfect. So in my head, then I saw her picture and I was like,
you saw a picture and you're like, I can make time.
Maybe I'm available.
Yeah. You saw him. The beard was looking sharp. It was good. You're like, I guess I could.
He's hot.
Take a little time.
Yeah.
So then what happens is I get on the phone with her.
Okay.
And in my mind, she knows I'm not looking for anything serious. She knows I'm not. I'm good.
Yeah.
Within 30 seconds. So do you see yourself married? Do you want children? Do you want to be in a relationship?
And
I was like,
that's from like a movie.
Whoa!
Stage
5 cleaner.
Yes.
And I actually think I don't know if there's any advice that I could also give somebody going into a relationship. It would be, do not say this.
Yeah.
And this is from experience.
Okay.
Do not, and I repeat, do not go forward with this line. I said,
whatever you do.
Yeah, I said, you know what? I'm really not looking for a relationship. I don't ever want to be married. Maybe I pay somebody to have my child and leave.
This is so.
But
he really said that. He really said that.
He seriously said that, and I said.
And then she screened my calls for like 2 months. The nerve.
Yeah. Real.
What is she thinking?
Meeting. See you later. And I hung up. I'm like, I was right. Typical athlete. I was right. Typical athlete.
He wants to pay.
Right. I'm going, who is this guy? I seriously hung up.
Yeah.
Very.
I hung up. I put in his contact, Johnny, don't answer. And he tried calling me for like 2.5 months. I screened his calls. Yes.
Yeah, there's two sides to this. I can tell.
Yeah. Back here, people.
You're done. Off of her, she's done.
So there was this app called the Helium app, and it gives you this huge head and a high pitched voice.
To Snapchat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
so it's funny. It's making a funny head.
Yeah.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Voice changers.
Yep.
So one guy.
You just start sending them to her every day.
I had one guy who was
This turned into a real creepy story.
Really creepy, actually, really creepy.
Tell him you want to pay for children, and you're gonna get creepy with them.
Honestly, I thought it was genius.
Yeah.
Didn't really play out that way.
Yeah.
So this app. So all of a sudden, I got this guy, and he gave me huge eyes, and then I gave him a real high pitched voice, and then I had this other guy who gave me kind of a square head and a real deep voice. So I created these 2 characters. One was like this, like the id and the ego, right? And one, the high pitched guy was like total. He knew everything, right? But then this big headed meathead was a meathead.
Yeah.
And so the meathead centered this one, and it was like, you know, Ani, I heard this song on the radio and I thought of you. It's called Gold Digger.
Yeah.
And I said, but he's a meathead, right? So to him, it wasn't a gold digger in the sense of money. It was a gold digger, like he's a treasure hunter.
Yeah, literally.
So I'm like, how cool would it be to have a real life treasure hunter, like the dude on the beach with the metal detector?
Yes.
You want to be a treasure hunter with me? Because he's a meathead.
Yeah.
And then I would instantly send another video with owl eyes. He was like, are you kidding me? A gold digger? You're going to fall for that? This guy's an idiot. You know? And they would argue back and forth.
Wait, you were sending these to her? How did this work out? Like, how did...
And then
so
I
you were
thought
laughing.
they were...
You were laughing.
Going, he's actually funny.
Yeah.
And sweet. And really cool.
This is a personalized thing he's doing just for me.
I was like, this guy's
and
actually...
I thought they were funny. And I'm like, you know what? If she doesn't, then obviously she's
not the one. She could
one.
never get it.
It just happened organically and cool. So then I remember she had a stressful day. And I remember I sent her one as the meathead. And it was like...
And she's in Vegas. You guys are in different places.
I've never met her. Never met her. And the meathead, the big-headed guy, he said something like, hey, you know, you think you're stressed. You know, a gazelle wakes up every day trying to avoid getting eaten by a lion.
Yeah.
Like
he's dropping knowledge bombs.
That's a bad day.
In character form.
Going, what?
Yeah.
So how does this guy know the right things to say to put a smile on my face?
Hey, Google.
Yeah. No. It was original. He came up with that.
So original.
Totally.
So original.
And so long story short, then we started actually talking on the phone.
Okay.
And then
that's so old-fashioned of you.
2 months.
Wow.
We haven't even met yet. We talked on the phone for
I love that though.
3 months.
When if a girl calls you, or like a lot, especially with like young girls today, they won't answer. They only text. I'm like, I don't want to text. Like, let's just actually talk. And if she doesn't answer, it's like, all right, eliminated. I don't know. Maybe I'm on the path to be. We'll pay for a child. I will pay for a child.
Right.
Yeah. And the reality is, I don't care what age you are. This is the reality of society. Is it's physical first.
Yeah.
And so we actually talked for months.
Yeah.
And can actually hold a conversation for hours.
For like 5-6 hours a night.
Yeah.
No joke. Till like 4 or 5 in the morning.
I will say this, and I can say this honestly.
Yeah.
She is the first woman that like genuinely made me laugh, where I didn't have to fake laugh. Like I literally laughed.
That's real.
Yeah. Like I actually would laugh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if she actually makes me laugh over the phone, like she's gonna make me like laugh, right?
Yeah.
So I hit her up and I said, look, I don't really. We're going to dinner. It's July 11th.
Yeah. At what point were you like, okay, we gotta meet in person?
July 11th, 2 years ago.
Okay.
And she's like, well, yeah, let's do this, but I'm really busy. I'm like, perfect. I'll fly to Vegas.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go to dinner.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna stay. Like we're not doing the whole physical thing. Like it was just dinner.
Yeah.
And we did that.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah. It was amazing.
So then she had a work event a few days later in San Diego.
Okay.
So it was kind of like, well, why don't you come out and hang out with me in Huntington Beach a few days?
Yeah.
Go to your work event and let's do it.
Yeah.
So then she stayed with me for a few
drive.
days.
Yeah.
And
we stayed together 3 days and
best time
bike riding on
ever.
the beach.
Yeah.
It was. We had the best 3 days ever, and we just fell so much in love. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was cool.
And I just knew when I left for my event, I said, I know this sounds so insane, but I love you so much. I don't want to be away from you. I'm having this crazy separation anxiety.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him. I'm like, I just knew.
You want to be liked for the right reasons, and that's dress conservative and proper, and like I'll never forget this. A buddy of mine had a few daughters, and he said, John, you know what the key to being a good dad is? I go, what? He goes, date your daughter. And I go, huh? He goes, no. He goes, date your wife and date your daughter.
Yeah.
And subtly,
sounds like he's from the Midwest.
Well, subtly, you're going to build expectations in your daughter's head, and then next time when she goes on her first date and the guy doesn't open the car door, she's going to go, huh? My dad does. Yeah. And then when all these little things happen that have to do with respect, she's going to be able to make those decisions on her own.
And it's so crazy how many people don't do those little things. Yeah. I talk to Jennifer about this all the time. Literally opening the door, walking on the side of the street, as the side of the street of where the traffic is. Like a girl will be blown away, and you're like, who have you been hanging out with? Because it's like the most
I get so
basic
upset
thing
when she drives and doesn't open my door, but because it's raining and she cares about her hair.
But does she, when you open the door for her, does she reach across and open the door for you?
Yes. Unlock it, open it.
And then
she maintains she does. I didn't hear it from you though.
And then she has a coffee waiting. And then,
okay.
And then she's
a little
like
kiss. Yeah.
Yep. Breakfast in bed, surprise with breakfast.
She does.
Well, I'm depressed. I'm depressed and lonely, and realize how unhappy I am. Thanks, you guys.
She is. Yeah. She's a winner.
Yeah.
So going back.
Yes. Ladies and
gentlemen, this is Jon Dorenbos' interpretation of what he wishes a first date would be.
Part 3.
Attempt 3.
Yeah, it was very simple. I just want to walk and talk. I want to laugh. If we go for a boat ride, I want it to be a crappy boat.
Yeah.
Like that's, and I said that. I go, crappy boat, and let's go cruise and just hang out and talk. And we both said that, right? Yeah. So then on our first date, we go out, we have fun, and this is actually really funny. She wanted to go get ice cream, and I was at that point discovering I was lactose intolerant. Okay. So I'll never forget this. I get this monster.
This might not go well.
I get this monster.
I'll be right back.
Like home, like the script.
Yeah. I get this monster.
He's behind me. I'm like, is he walking by?
Well, so I eat. So we walk on the beach, we bike ride, and then we take a walk, and then we get this huge vanilla thing and a waffle cone, which I love. But then I knew it was going to come up. Yeah. So I just kind of let her go, and then it's effortless. Yeah. Like I can literally just bring it up and fill up a glass, no problem. Yeah. Just kind of let it go. She didn't know. I was like, sweet. Yeah. I just enjoyed ice cream and just boom. I'm like the chubbiest bulimic you'll ever see. So anyways, we did just that, and then we have the video that we sent, and we sent her friend, actually, her friend Nicole, and it was a video that said, oh my gosh, we're having the time of our lives, and if we get married, we're going to have Tim marry us, the guy that introduced us. Like, he's going to marry us. And he didn't even know at the time. Yeah, yeah. So sure enough.
Has he married people? Does he do that? No. This is not a thing.
It was like unitedministries.org. Thanks for the certification. Yeah. So he actually married us in Mexico.
Really?
Got
ordained and did the whole thing.
He was the one that conducted the services and married us in Mexico, and it was unbelievable. It was really cool. We were all, and what's funny is on our first date we wanted to be barefoot. We say sand in our toes, you know. And we were married. We didn't wear shoes the entire night.
Speaking of, are you wearing shoes right now? I feel like you might have came. I was like, this guy is comfortable.
Let me tell you.
Can we get a first shot?
Here's something that has nothing to do with anything, but I was in AP European History with Mr. Wucetich, and I still love this guy. Okay.
Mr. Wucetich?
Mr. Wucetich. Pacifica High School. Mr. Wu, hopefully you hear this. Yeah. I got 2 answers right in his entire year. I failed every test. Course. I failed the class. Yeah, it was miserable. One of the 2 questions that I got right the entire year, and I kid you not. Something about. One was, does anybody know who Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire are? Okay. And I was the only one that raised my hand. Okay. And he looked at me like,
why does he have his hand up? He doesn't do this.
Of all the questions, you know. David Copperfield cited him as dance inspiration. They're dancers, movie star dancers. He's like, yeah, you're right. Then the other one was...
Nailed it. You probably were flying
in the back
for like a week.
Dude, I'm in the back going...
I own this class.
Nailed it. Right? Everybody's looking at me like, it doesn't make any sense. So anyways, so the other one I got right was, he said that 2% of the world can move just their pinky toe. And I had flip-flops on, and I didn't have them on at the time. And I go, that's funny, I can do that. And he made me get in front of the class. I laid on the table, and I put my feet up on the chalkboard. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is 2% of the world. Okay. Can do that.
And you could do both?
Well, let's find out.
Are you just tell you
this. If I didn't know I could, I wouldn't be here right now.
Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen.
That might actually be
never happened on the podcast before.
That might be less than 2% of the world.
Yeah. No, we're going to Google fact
Mr. Wucetich. What? Now
he's the real MVP.
Now let's bring this full circle.
Yeah, I wish we would.
I'm playing high school football, and Bill Craven was our coach. Okay. And Mr. Wucetich always said that you're going to be a Cravenite, and I don't know what that means. Yeah. You're going to be a parking lot loiterer, the stereotypical football player that smokes cigarettes and drinks beer and fails out of class. That's your choice. If you want to be that guy, go ahead, but you need to be a beacon of the night. Yeah. And I go, really? And he goes, you need to be a beacon of the night, and you need to stand up, and when you get knocked down, just like Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire are, you need to get up, dust yourself off, and do it all over again.
He's good. That will be talks on your terms. I love this guy.
So guess what? Years go by. He's a college official. Years goes by. UTEP. We're playing Fresno. It's either Fresno or San Jose. And guess who the backline official is?
No way.
Mr. Wucetich.
No way.
So I remember I get hit and get the wind knocked out of me. And I get up, and that's the first time I saw him. And I look up, and I go, you got to be kidding me right now. And I go, woo! And he turns around, and I go, I will be a beacon of the night. I will stand up. I will dust myself off. And I will do this all over again. And he just looked at me. And I go, see? And you thought I didn't pay attention in class.
And you failed me.
As I walked off, I go, thanks for the D+.
You did. Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. And he didn't even, and I gave him credit. He gave me an F. I failed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually dropped out of the class. Dude, AP.
Yeah, what's the point? What are we doing here? Yeah.
I don't need college credit.
I'm shuffling cards.
Which, if you're an AP student, I commend you. It's unbelievable, but that just wasn't for me.
recently, is this a more recent thing? You got to do your magic and hosting on the Ellen Show.
It's cool.
How did that happen? Like, what was your experience like?
So,
what can we learn from it?
Yeah, I did a show called America's Got Talent.
Oh, yes. Okay, we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, and it was cool, and I originally did it just for the sake of, I wanted to get 1 or 2 episodes and get the judges to say great and to put on the website for speaking.
Yes,
because I love the speaking side, the corporate speaking side. So
amazing.
Yeah, we'll do that. All right, cool. Well, then I progressed, and originally I didn't tell the team I was doing it, and so I was like, okay, I'll probably end up.
Yeah, this is going to be a quick little thing I do on the side.
Yeah, I'm going to end up probably dropping out after this episode, and then I get the gold buzzer.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, this just got interesting because
I got things to do.
The team doesn't even know I'm doing this, and then I kind of, you know, I told the show, yeah, we're going to progress. The team's cool with it, but meanwhile, I was still trying to figure this out.
Yeah. What was it going to look like?
And then the day came where the show aired. And I needed to then tell the team because I was like, NBC is going to call.
They need to hear from you
we're
first.
So excited. John's not going to go to training camp. And it was like, uh-oh. But when I went back to Philadelphia, the whole organization, Jeffrey Lurie and Chip was the coach, and Howie Roseman and Dom DeSandro and Frank and all these people, Don, they were like, dude, like, this is amazing. We need to make this work.
Great exposure for them too, right?
It was great. Well, ultimately, that's why it worked out, because the publicity, the positive publicity, countered.
Yeah.
Now, ultimately, what ended up happening is they were like, look, this is a part of who you are. This is what makes you who you are. This is why we've had you on this team for so long. So we want to support it. We got to make this work. So it was difficult, but it was a lot of fun. And I was flying 4 or 5 days a week, and I would hit my last meeting, get on a red eye, go to LA, land for like 2 or 3 hours, do interviews, B-rolls, to take a red eye, to come back, to go to a meeting at 8 in the morning, and do that. And fortunately, there was a few trips where we have a friend that's done very well for himself, and he has a very big plane, with a bed, bedroom in the back, and
that's handy,
fully catered with like steak salad and turkey bolognese, and like, dude, it's unbelievable.
The best chef in the world.
We were able to kind of piggyback that, and he flew us a few times, which was super generous. And the only thing I missed was I missed day 1, which was nothing. It was a team meeting, and then I missed a team meeting because there was a suspected shooter at LAX, and they delayed my red eye.
Oh, but other than that, you would escape.
I didn't miss any practices, 0 games. I missed 2 team meetings. I never missed one of the meetings that I had to be in, and the team fully supported it.
That's awesome.
America got behind me, which was really, really cool. And you know,
how far did you go?
At the finals, I made it to the top 3.
The top 3 in the whole show?
Yeah, and they, however many hundreds of thousands of people or whatever. So
I love how casual. I was like, oh, so they did a few things. You know, it was top 3. You almost won the whole thing.
But,
and you're having to come up with new acts each time, because you obviously have your thing, but you have to think of something new. You don't want to maybe do wait and save the big one.
2. There's 2 of them that I'd never done before. It was the first time I ever did it.
Really?
But you tell them that, they freak. So I was like, nah, I've done this a million times.
Yeah, it's easy.
I'm like, this is our first time.
Yeah, this might not happen.
One of them, we snapped footballs on a map.
Okay.
And predicted the states and all that, and that was the first time we did that.
Okay.
And then the finals, if people watched it, great. If you didn't, great. Doesn't matter. But in the finals, I was getting pitched by magicians. Oh, there's tigers and fires, and you'll float away, and then you'll explode, and then the tiger will come out, and then girls will come out dancing, and then boom, you'll appear. I'm like, that's really aggressive. That just seems like a lot of work.
I just want to shovel some cards.
Yeah, which honestly,
that's
what 2 things happened. One, I wanted to end the same way I started, which was cards, and I was always the upbeat,
that's kind of your bread and butter?
It's what I love doing.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was all upbeat and fun, and I was like, I always wanted to be a rock star, and I was like, now's the time for my ballad. Because they're going to expect that.
They're going to expect
So we're going to come in with a ballad. And then the other thing was, I've bit my nails my whole life.
Yeah.
And I was always messed up just a little bit, right? And so I'd bite my nails. And then knowing her and throughout our relationship, I grew in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I stopped biting my nails.
Really?
And so my fast pace in performing magic was always because I was really self-conscious that people would stare at my nails. Oh. So when I do my close-up shows, I go.
Yeah.
There's no transitions, there's no stopping, because I was always self-conscious. So I always had to keep it rolling.
Now you got your feet out, like you're like.
And so now,
game changer.
I literally performed in front of millions of people with a slow card routine, zoomed in on my nails. And for me, that was a cool moment.
Yeah, big deal.
Really cool. That was a big deal for me. So I'm working out this card routine, and if you haven't seen it, YouTube it. I think it's worth it.
Where's the best, YouTube or web?
Jon Dorenbos, AGT Finals.
Okay, cool. We'll
just Google it.
Yeah, just Google it. It's on the interwebs.
But what was really cool for me is it wasn't a trick per se, and it was me sitting at a table, And it literally is like 4 moves that I learned when I was 13, 14 years old. And they were transitions on how to get in and out of situations, right? And then I put this thing together, and there's a guy named Dr. Kevin Elko who's been a voice in my ear, been a great friend, and just giving me clarity and perspective, and taught me. He kind of put my life into words, and he's like, you know what, Jon, when I look at you, I just see somebody that just doesn't hate, doesn't blame, and always forgives.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's beautiful. So I came up with this routine of moves, and then each move, there was a purpose to it, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And now the theme became don't hate, don't blame, and forgive. And so football helped me find myself. Magic saved my life.
Yeah.
And magic taught me these things within myself. Magic gave me clarity and peace. Magic gave me time alone. Magic gave me time to think and to be able to separate myself to find out who I really was. So now I'm practicing this in our place in Philly, and dude, I'm not making this story up. This is 100% true. Annalise, my friend Anthony Dillon, were at the place, and as we were all talking. I was kind of in my own little world, and I remember looking up, and I go, guys, I don't think this is it. Like, this isn't gonna win.
Jon was trying to figure out what he should do for the finals. He was, you know, like he said, going back and forth. All of these other magicians were telling him to do tigers and fireworks and hot chicks and disappearing acts. So,
which I was cool with.
Which he was cool with, but he's like, you know, I feel like I just want to be me and be myself and do something from my heart to touch America, and that's exactly what he did. And the trick was amazing. So we're sitting there in Philly rehearsing it, and all of a sudden this picture frame fell from our wall, and it was a picture of his mom. And it's up on the wall. It's never fallen before. So I said, this is a sign. Like, you have to do this trick. It's crazy. I said, this is meant to be. You have to do this. And he did it and blew all the judges away, blew America away, touched the hearts of millions of viewers. And the response he got from his performance was unreal. And it was amazing. So that's the story.
What a powerful
and part of it, too, was, you know, when I was a kid, I saw Bill Malone on TV. And David Copperfield, and I was a 13-year-old, 14-year-old kid, and you know, Annalise told me too when that picture fell, because it was at the time that I was like, this isn't it, right? And so it was kind of a sign that no, this is it. Yeah. And I'll never forget, Annie's like, you know what? Maybe it's your time to be Bill Malone. It's your time to be Copperfield, and then there's going to be a kid out there that's going to watch this. Yeah. That's going to be in the same shoes you were in, and maybe you're now that guy. So you can be the flashy magician, or you can actually do something that might change a life. Yeah. And,
such a bigger purpose.
Yeah. And that's so cool. That's the decision we made. And we didn't win, but it's the most proud of any performance I've ever had in my life. And, you know, it's funny because, like, my friends will send me, like, reviews and stuff, and, like, some people will be like, oh, it wasn't even that hard of a trick, and like, this is what he did.
Yeah. We don't care about what those people...
I love the people that expose you, but they're wrong.
Yeah.
This is guaranteed what he did, and you're like, not even close.
Yeah. Oh, because they're saying, like, oh, here's how he did it, and obviously you know how you did it.
So you're like, no. It's, but the moves that I did are really difficult. Like, they're moves that most magicians, there's one move I did that a lot of magicians were like, dude, I would never do that on live television. But guess what?
High stakes.
It's been my go-to since I was 13.
Yeah.
You know, and I learned
Fearless.
it because I knew I was going to screw up. And that one move was going to get me out of a lot of situations. Well, now that one move became an actual relevant move. Yeah. And a move that was intentionally done at that time. And let me tell you this. When you screw up a trick, and all eyes are on you, and you learn a move that gets you out of the situation, we call that, there's a lot of heat on the move. There's a lot of people staring at you trying to, and then you do this move to get out of a situation, and it works. Well, then when you need to do the move with relevance and a purpose, and it's choreographed at that moment, that move's easy because you're used to doing it with people staring at you. And most magicians do it when they're not looking at them, if that makes sense. So I was really proud of it. But anyway, so we did AGT, and then Ellen called, and it was really, really cool. And Ellen,
because she saw you on there.
Yeah, her and her people. And what's really, really cool is that Ellen is an absolute sweetheart, and I love everything about her. I love everything she stands for. And it's not just her; it's her entire crew. It's what her brand stands for, is who she is, and she has been amazing to me and Annalise. And you know, I made a decision. I was going to do a trick where you kind of predict stuff, and you know, usually the people go up there and you predict, oh, you can go anywhere in the world, you can bring a celebrity, you can bring any item you want or any food. I just think that's I don't know, it's boring to me. So instead we
corny.
And instead we kind of geared stuff to be more towards her and what she stands for. Okay. And so instead of asking tricks that have no meaning to anything, we threw a ball around the crowd and said, look, how does this show make you feel? How does Ellen reflect your life? Like when you watch Ellen, how does she change you?
Yeah.
And then we had Ellen write what these people were telling her, and then we had that predicted. Right, and so then Ellen was like, "Whoa, that was really cool," and then I was like, "That was really cool." So now I had the AGT performance, and I had Ellen, and then she had us back, and we kind of had meaning to what we were doing, and I kind of became that inspirational magician guy.
Yeah,
and,
it's an inspirational magician.
Yeah, and guess what? That's my calling. I love doing it, and it's cool, man. It's really cool, and I love magic. I love everything about it. But I think there's some pretty like corny magicians.
Yeah,
you know, like magic.
We're not gonna call anyone out. What do you feel about David Blaine, though?
Cool.
I watched his thing the other day, and I was just like, I'm scared of him.
Yeah,
I'm like, he can take my soul. Like, this guy is.
I'm really happy for him.
Okay.
I'm really happy that he kind of went out and now he's touring and doing it live.
Yeah.
And
because he'd never done that before, right? That's why I saw an interview the other day, and so
for years.
It's like a new challenge for him to.
And his big thing is it real or magic?
Yeah.
And so one of his consultants, if you will, I've become friends with and love the guy. His name's Enrico de la Vega, and it's basically his show is people leave and they're like, dude, what just happened? Like, did he really just hold his breath for 10 minutes? Did he really just shoot a bullet in his mouth?
Yeah, is he going through his hand?
Yeah, and like
some of those things.
Legit.
He really does
like
a lot of that
he puts
stuff.
a spike through his hand.
Yeah.
He's shooting a bullet in his mouth. Like,
he really.
How he's going to withstand?
It's not a trick.
This?
It's literally.
It's like so. To me, I really like the acts that when you sit down and you go, okay, there's nobody else in the world that can do that shit.
Yeah.
Nobody.
He saw him swallow the fish or the frog, and then put it out. Like, what in the world?
But it's wonder because, like, from a real standpoint of stamina, you go, dude, okay, this guy wants to tour and kill it, but like, how many shows can you do before holding your breath for 10 minutes gives you brain damage?
Yeah,
before
the bullet's a little bit off.
You got frogs and gasoline going in your body, and like you can't eat for 7 hours prior. You can't do this. You can't do that. Like, dude, he's a freak. So I think in that regard, it's really cool, and he's doing something really, really different.
Yeah.
And to me, you know, anybody that goes out there and that creates a buzz and a love for magic.
Yeah.
And all they're doing is getting the world to love what we all do.
Yeah.
It helps all magicians.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And so Dave
has
helped create a new era of people really digging magic and making it cool again.
Yeah, I love it. How are we doing on time? Did I see you? We're good? All right. We've talked long. I have maybe a couple quick things for you. You said you're doing some of the corporate speaking now when you have time. If football was taken from you, if magic was taken from you, and you're just full-time speaking and you could only do one message to the corporate audience, what would be that message? I feel like I kind of have an idea after talking to you for a little bit, but just what is that thing?
Don't listen to yourself, talk to yourself. And with that message right there, you can go anywhere you want.
Yeah.
So then you can touch on a lot of different subjects, being relevant to what they are, and when you're down and out, don't listen to yourself, talk to yourself. Yeah. Because the ability that we have in our own minds, the tone that we set in our own mind. You know, in football, they always say that somebody's going to set the tone. It's either going to be you or the guy you're hitting.
Yeah.
So if you're going to let the guy that you're hitting set the tone, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah.
So go in and set the tone. We'll do that in your own mind.
Yeah.
Set the tone. Work hard. Treat people right. But ultimately, life can be done in a very simple way that when you're down and out, don't listen to yourself, talk to yourself. And you'll talk yourself through situations. You'll talk yourself into where you want to be. You'll talk yourself into happiness. A lot of people think happiness is an emotion. No, it's a decision.
What would be like that one thing to young people that you would pass on to them if it was like just that one little nugget, growing up and being a kid and trying to figure it all out, like you were saying, you kind of had to grow up fast, and that kind of changed your perspective on it. But
are you like, what would I have done differently?
I guess not for you. Yeah. What would you have done differently?
Oof. Could have avoided my whole first marriage. That would have been nice.
It's like, I'm going to not rush into that. How old were you when you got married?
Could have avoided those 5 years.
How old were you when you got married?
29.
29? Okay.
Yeah.
Scares me.
Yeah. You know what? When it comes to marriage, don't get married because people around you are getting married. Don't get married because you feel like you're at a time in your life where you need to be married, or you're
biological clock. Everyone else is getting married. People, there's all these pressures. I feel like it's more for women too. I felt that.
I am married to the kindest, warmest, most loving, coolest chick I've ever met. And the key is we actually genuinely enjoy spending time together.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to not. I don't.
Yeah.
You know, like and I love guy time, but if the guys call and they want to go do something, it's cool. But like, I genuinely love hanging out with this person. So, and when I perform, she comes with. You know, it's part of it. Either you fly us all out, or we're good. We don't need it. Right? So
it's part of the package.
It's part of the package. And she works.
She's my muse.
And we work together, and she works hard too. And I'm not taking that away from her. But you know, when you find somebody that you genuinely love hanging out with, and ironically that person genuinely loves hanging out with you, then you got something. You know, don't force it. Don't get married for the wrong reasons. Don't be in relationships for the wrong reasons. Don't be with somebody because people are telling you that that's the right person for you. Yeah. You know, when you know, you know. And like I said, she turned my heart right side up, and it's the happiest I've ever been with me. It's the happiest time of my life. And, and again, I'm not just saying that because she's right there, 27 inches to my left.
Is she crying yet? If she's not. I don't know how she's not. It's amazing. No, man.
But and I'll tell you this, she has patience, and I've never been in a relationship with somebody that knew everything about me and that encouraged everything I did. From my flaws to my strengths to, and no matter how perfect people might think you are, we all got them, right? We all got flaws, and none of us are perfect. Avoid those things that might just be short term, and really start evaluating and respecting yourself in a different way, and have goals, and understand that, hey, just because things don't happen, and just because you don't get to a certain goal, or you don't serve something, or you fail, it's okay. It's okay. Because usually when you fail in something, there's going to be a door right there to the right. You just got to allow yourself to see it. That's going to end up being something better for you anyways. I know this. Every time I've gotten fired, and every time something bad in my life has happened, you have closure with it. You come to terms with your reality, and you say, it's okay. This is where I am in my life. I still want to get to this place. It's just going to be a little bit different path. And guess what? Boom.
Might have to work a little harder.
Next
be a
thing
little
you know,
nicer.
Dude, you sleep better, and you wake up with closure, and then you're like, holy cow. Look at this opportunity that just popped up. But you have to allow yourself to see it.
I appreciate you so much. This actually selfishly really spoke to me a lot, and I'm very thankful and very happy for you. It seems like you're in a very exciting chapter, and it's so cool to see that as amazing it is to be a pro athlete, as amazing it is to do magic and be featured on TV, I think it's so much cooler to find your purpose, and it seems like you've really found that with being an inspirational magician, which is kind of a new lane that I've never really seen, and maybe I don't know the magic game like that, but I don't know of people that have used it, you know, and use their story and use how they present their show in a way that can impact and change and help people, and I think that's incredible, man.
It's like what you're doing. Hopefully you step away from this and say, nobody else can do my podcast, because nobody else is you. So that's what you bring to the table. So hopefully when I do a show, people leave and say, just like Blaine, whatever your niche is, whatever your style is, I hope people leave my show and say, nobody else can do what that was, because nobody else, or him, nobody else can do that.
Well, and that's the thing, everyone's always faking it to make it, or they're copying. Like, it'd be easy for you to look at those magicians, you know, you can see the foundation that they laid, but a lot of people try to be them, I imagine, and with everything, you know, and I think that's such an incredible lesson too, of find your version of that, you know, put you in it. Like, I'm around all these actors and everything. Are we causing problems in the neighborhood? Paparazzi found us. I guarantee was it an older person?
They were just.
I mean, it must have been very. Oh, it's because they were staring and the other person came up.
No.
I don't know what I was talking about. This was fun. Let's do it again.
It's just a fan in Seacliff.
We like to keep a real low profile.
Nobody knows who we are here. People are like, in RVs in this neighborhood, what's going on?
It's facing the wrong way, and there's a basketball hoop on the back. What's happening?
Call the association now.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Is there anything you want to shout out or anything going on?
Thank you, and to everybody that's listening to this, man, make a difference in this world. Be a positive influence. Work hard. Treat people right. And I promise you, I'm the slowest, most unathletic dude. That's
awkward white guy.
Yeah, I am the awkward white guy. But guess what?
Hard work, man. It's crazy.
I've lasted 15 years in the NFL because you know, you stay true to yourself and treat people right, and surround yourself with good people that you want to see succeed and that also want to see you succeed. And you know, that's it.